Hello and welcome to another episode of Lo-Fi Codes. I'm your host David Fitzgibbon, and today we're going to be looking at mirrored media elements. So what do I mean by a mirrored media element? So it's these guys here. So we've got a picture on the left over here and a picture on the right over here. And at the moment this is being done with flex, but we're going to see what it looks like if we do it with a float. So there are a lot of tutorials out there at the moment showing how to do things with flex. Flex is the new hotness. We've been waiting for it for a while, but we really don't need to rely on it. If we want to have better browser support, we can use floats. They still work. They're still kind of cool. Those of us who've been around for a while maybe miss them a little bit, but let's see why. So here on Can I Use, we can see that for Flex we have pretty good support worldwide. You can see on i11 there are some bugs, there are some issues, partial support due to large amounts of bugs. And even on IE10 it only supports the 2012 syntax, so you've got to put in special kludges for IE10. And if you're going to support browsers that far back, it's probably easier to just use floats. So what's the support like for floats, I hear you ask? So effectively all browsers. We're going back to Chrome 1, Firefox 2, IE6. So if your users don't have that, you're in more trouble than just worrying about floats versus flex. So let's look at the setup that we've got. So we're using flex at the moment. I'll show you the HTML here. We've essentially just got two little media elements, one with the class media swap to swap it over to the other side, and we've got the media image, which is holding this image, and the media content, which is holding a h1 and a paragraph tag. So when we look at the CSS, we can see that all we're doing is setting the media element to display flex, giving media image a flex of 1, giving media content a flex of 3. So essentially they add up to 4. Image gets 1/4, content gets 3/4. And then for media swap, we just change the direction. If I was to get rid of this, they'd be identical. And that's all that's really going on. Very simple and straightforward with flex. But I'm going to show you how it's actually quite simple to do it with float as well, which is what maybe newer developers mightn't be aware of, because float can look scary. So let's just jump in and show you. So if we comment out all of our lovely flex fun and get into the floats. So initially we need our media element. Actually, we might not need to even do anything with that. Let's go straight on to our media image. So what do we know about that? So we're going to need it to float, and we're going to need it to float left. Lovely. Now things are looking a bit scary, but we'll get there. And our media content will need to float right. Okay. So things are looking very, very broken. And this is where a lot of newer developers might give up on floats, but it's one small little problem. If we actually look at this with our inspector, make a bit of room for ourselves here, what we'll see is that the media element that's holding our media image and media content, and they have what we need on them. They have float left. Let's even just put widths, the widths that we want, to make sure that we see the trick in action. So with 75%, 70. So we can see we're kind of getting what we want. The images are on the left, the content is on the right, but there's all this confusion up here. And the classes are coming through correctly. Or are they? Yes, so we're getting float right with 75%, float left with 25%. So at this point it might be a bit frustrating and look a little intimidating, but we're only missing one parameter. So if we put in an overflow, which tells, at the moment, these media elements don't know what to do with their overflow. They're just confused, so they collapse because the float has taken them out of the natural flow. So we just need to tell them overflow. I usually do hidden. It can hide a few messy edges, and amazing. We're exactly where we want to be. Everything's looking pretty good. We've got it going in one direction. So now we need the mirror. So we need to do a media swap. Now on flex, we were able to just say flex direction, row reverse. And it worked like magic. It's not so easy with floats. We need to do something per element. So we just need to get our media image and just tell that to float the other way. So it's floating left originally, so we'll tell it to float right this time. And like that'll do it. We're there. We've pretty much got it. It's all looking nice. But my paranoid mind would like to make it just a little bit more accurate. So let's get a media swap on for media content and set that to float left. So it's made no difference, but it makes me happier. So here we have it. Flex versus float. What's that? 16 lines of code to do it with floats versus 11, 5 lines different. And you're getting guaranteed 100% support versus 95, but that's 1 in 20 people. So you're getting complete support with one and pretty good support with the other, and Flex does have a whole lot of advantages. I'm not taking anything away from that, but just in case you need to support anyone on Internet Explorer, here's how to do it in Float in case you've never seen it and you're hitting any troubles with overflow. Overflow hidden hides your mistakes if there are any, and really just immediately sorts out any floats within an element. So that's the trick there. Your overflow needs to be set on a parent element, and then the floats within, they'll work just fine. Okay, so there you have it. Flex versus float on mirrored media elements.